Now, if you're a susceptible person, the only way you can become infected is to have contact of whatever type allows this disease to spread with some individual who is infected. As long as you're just around other susceptible people and nobody's entered the infected group, then you know this is not, you can't get the disease. So when we talk about a change for a susceptible person into being an infected person, it has to do with contact with infected persons, right? And so when you talk about the change of the number of susceptibles, okay, first of all, number of susceptibles is going to go down, right? That's going to be a negative change. How do I know that? Well, because when a susceptible gets infected, they're infected. They're going to go from there to recovered. They never reach the point where they come back to being a susceptible. So that's going to be a negative slope on that, okay? Going to be a value that's going down. And it's going to be proportional to the number of infected people that a susceptible comes in contact with. So it's going to be the product of those two things, INS. Proportional to, we need some constant of proportionality, and that constant of proportionality then we just say is B, okay? And that's just a parameter that we come up with, and we call it the contact rate. Just basically how frequently are you having contact with these people that are, you know, from whom you could get the disease, that are infectious, okay? And of course, S and I are both functions of T. And I should point out here as well, we're assuming that outside, you know, that we have a fixed population. We're assuming there aren't any births, there aren't any deaths going on, et cetera. You know, we're just saying you're either susceptible. There's no replenishing of this group using this model, okay? So that's the SDT. Now, what else do we know? Well, what about recovery? In order to enter this group right here, the RDT. Well, first of all, in order to enter recovery, what has to happen first? You have to be infected first. And so in order to enter recovery, that's going to be proportional to how many are infected. And then, how many enter recovery per day? Well, that depends on how long this virus keeps you infectious. And for the case that's talked about in the paper, they talk about it's got a 3-day window, basically. So they say that's 1/3, okay? Because for 3 days you'll be infected, so that's the rate of change in time of recovered is going to be 1/3 of IFT, because 1/3 of all the patients per day are going to recover. Now, just to keep this general, instead of putting an R there, I put a K right here. Now, I have those two things, and that's a positive because number of recoverads has to go up, right? That's got to be a positive slope. Now, keeping those two things in mind along with that, I say, well, I can figure out the IDT, because the IDT has to be equal to minus the RDT minus the SDT. Therefore, the IDT, I can put them in either order, obviously, minus K IFT plus B IFT SFT. And I'm not really sure why I didn't write these as functions of T up here. I probably should have. So there we have the SDT, the RDT, and the IDT.